What up, you guys? KC here. First video. I'm just gonna tell you a story about the time I stole 2 motorcycles. I almost got away with it. And that's it. And then this is just one video of many. I'll have this kind of a life story. So this is something in the middle of my life. And I'll tell you what happened after this, and then what happened before this. And then it will all make sense. But I'll just start off with this story. So I was 20 at the time. I'm 22 now. I was 20 at the time, and was living on my own in my apartment, my first apartment, and I was working for landscaping. I was doing side jobs. I was working for this company, that company. I was, cutting grass, planting mulch, doing a bunch of different stuff. I was doing drywall, electrical, a little bit of contractor type stuff. Yeah, so I was job hopping, and at the time, my drug of choice was Xanax, and pot and alcohol, and yeah, clean and sober now. But at the time, took a lot of Xanax, and yeah, I don't want to tell that story yet. But all right, so let's just leave it like this. I went on Craigslist, and I typed in, let's see, the first bike was a Yamaha R6. 2320. A Yamaha R6. And I decided that I would message one of the owners, 9, 10 people, and I'd ask them if I could take the bikes for a test drive. Just test drive, I would take the bike for a test drive, and I'd give you a $100 deposit that day to test drive the bike for 2 to 3 minutes, and then tomorrow, if everything went good that day, tomorrow I would come back with a U-Haul or a truck and trailer, pick up the bike. So, let alone, messaged like 3 people, one guy, 2014 Yamaha R6, low mileage. Me, I had the idea that, I could go down there, I could get the bike, and I could, take it back, and it'd be my bike. And, no trace whatsoever. So I take an Uber, like, freaking an hour and a half away towards this bike. I go there with just my helmet and this $100, and I go there and I talk to this dad of, he's got 2 kids that were outside also, and the bike's all chained up, and I talked to him. I gave him a phony name, and we bought the bike outside, and he was iffy about me riding it, and I convinced him to let me take it for a test drive. I gave him the $100, I said I'll be right back in 2 minutes. The next thing you know, he said, all right, and I take off, and I just slowly go around the block. Once I make it around the corner, I'm gone. And I just start taking the road, start going back to my house where I lived, like an hour and a half away. And swear to God, like literally, as soon as I get on the main road to head like the straight shot towards like the area where I lived, driving this bike that I just stole right between cars weaving, all of a sudden, look behind me, motorcycle cop lights right behind me. Tripping balls, like immediately I'm like, oh fuck, dude, like there's no way he knows it's a stolen bike already. I must have been like speeding or something like that. So I freaking drive up straight, and I start taking off, and I outrun him within a couple seconds, and there's a stoplight, and luckily there's no cars passing. I go up to the stoplight, I look, and then I go, and he's waiting behind all these cars or whatever. I hit about $140. All of a sudden, first time ever going $140, I get the speed wobbles. And I'm like, oh God, here it goes. I'm about to crash, fall, go all over the pavement, and get arrested and go to hospital, all this stuff, and it'd be totally fucked. Speed wobbles went out, got it good, everything went good. Drove the bike home, had the bike for what seemed like to me, because I was popping Xanax at the time, was like 2-3 months. I had the bike for like only like 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks, and let alone this bike was a Yamaha R6. So that's a 600cc, and I got this bike for, free is what I'm thinking. And I'm telling everybody I just worked, and I saved up money. I got a good deal on it. I financed it, no plate on it, no nothing, And so 2 weeks later, I decide that I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to go and I'm going to get me a 1000. So I type in CBR1000. Talk to the 2 people. One guy says, yeah, sure, come to my shop. You can hop on it, test drive it. I said, sure. I take an Uber. I go down to this guy's shop. The bike's sitting outside. I hop on the bike. I don't remember talking to him. I rode the bike away and got it to my house, and I rode it all that night with like my buddies and stuff, and like then I parked it at my house, and next morning woke up to, you know, a knock on the door. And, you know, a night after Xanax and drinking, or I wasn't probably drinking, but a night after Xanax, whatever, you wake up, you know, you're kind of out of it. So, and usually everybody's got that peek hole in your, you know, apartment. This is the first time I didn't use it. I opened up the door, and there you go. Freaking detective standing with the badge on his waist, you know, around his belt buckle. Not a cop. But I'm like, oh, great, you know, something's going on. He's like, oh, hey, you know, Mr. Chapman, you know, you want to come talk to me or whatever? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I can talk to you. So I put my shoes on, and I, you know, tie my shoelaces, and then we go outside. And my apartment building has got, you know, we got a building, and then like, you know, like say we got our main door right here, and then once you open this door, you go into like a lobby area, and then you open this door, and then here's all the, like, my apartment, this, you know, like, so we went down the stairs and we went outside, and we're outside, and he's talking to me, and I don't remember what he said. I just remember I had my arms on my waist, and like I'm just like swaying back and forth like one of those movie scenes where I'm about to, like, you know, just like to move and swing on the cop. Not the cop or swing on anybody, but I didn't swing on the cop. So I'm swaying my arms back and forth, and I'm waiting for him to get to the point where he say, hey, you know, turn around, you're under arrest, or you're under suspicion for, you know, something to do with the motorcycle, whatever. And I'm like, I'm not letting it get to that point. So like within like a couple seconds of him talking, bam, I book it. I run around my apartment building, run. He's running after me. I'm watching him behind my shoulder. I run in my apartment building, in that main door to get that lobby area, past the lobby area, go up to the second door once we get in here. Now, my apartment's on the second floor, so there's a flight of stairs, a level, you know, and then another flight of stairs, you know, so it goes up, there's a level, then it goes up. So, run up the stairs. My apartment door has got a keypad on it, you know, like a 4-digit pin pad to open to get into my apartment. I had to punch the pin pad in, open it, shut the door, literally as I seen him coming up the steps. And shut the door, you know, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. And I come here and I called my dad and my mom and everything, and I told them exactly what was going on. I told them that this is exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna freaking pack my stuff. I'm gonna get on a plane. I'm going to Florida. I'm gonna live down there. I'm gonna do landscaping. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm gonna live as like a felon. You know, like I'm gonna live like on the run. You know, and if anything happens, I'll go down to Cuba or Costa Rica or something. Like that was my mindset during that time, and it was just crazy. And so, once I called my parents, they had the idea of, we'll pick you up and we'll go to your grandparents an hour away, and, you know, you can let it cool down for 2 weeks or whatever, but, you know, it's your life. You can do whatever, you know. And I was already on my own because they've already kicked me out the house at this point, you know. That's why I had my own apartment, but, you know, I was 20 years old. I should have my own apartment anyways. But that's for another story. So we get to my grandparents, you know, they take me out there and we stay there. I wake up the next morning, so they drop me off the night, you know, and then I wake up the next morning and I'm like, no, the cops can't be waiting for me, you know, it's already cooled down. I'm just one of many cases, you know, many fugitives or whatever, and I'm just gonna go and, you know, I'm just gonna go down there and grab my stuff and go to Florida this week, you know. So my dad picks me up, we go back down my apartment, and my dad says, all right, I'm gonna go pick up some breakfast, you know. So he drops me off, and he drops me off in my apartment building, and I start walking in my apartment building. He drives away. Remember, I got those 2 flights of stairs. I walk in the first flight of stairs. I get to that middle section. By the time I look up, there's 3 guys that are coming downstairs and 3 guys that are downstairs that were hiding somewhere coming up. They all bum rushed me. They all arrested me, you know, threw me against the wall, took my backpack off, took me in the cop car. Like literally as soon as I exited the building, there was already cop cars like pulled up. They must have came like right after, you know, like I entered and my dad left. It was nuts. And so I go out in the cop car, and they all, you know, are all talking behind the cop car, and I'm in there sitting, and I remember watching like cops or you know, like some TV show or something where the wires on the window of the cop car, the blue and red wires, you know, can control the window. If you cut one, you know, or you pull one out, you're able to roll the window all the way down. It was nuts, dude. It was nuts. I was thinking, because I was in the mindset, like, I'm on the run. I'm not going to jail. So when I was in the cop car, I was like, I'm getting out of here, dude. So I popped the thing, dude, and I was messing with the switches or the wires, and I was like, what should I do? What should I do? I don't know if I should, you know, whatever. And, like, the cops behind me see me fiddling with something, dude. So I put it back literally as he was coming up. He opened the door, and he's like, hey, what are you doing in there? I'm like, no, my cuffs are just tight, you know. I'm just messing with those. And he was like, he said something or whatever, but that was it. He didn't catch me. And then, you know, next thing you know, we're off, you know, riding to jail or whatever. And, you know, then I'll give a story about that too. Yeah, so that was it. I think that was it. Yeah, so they ended up charging me with, because I took it from so far away. It was obviously a different county, you know, it was a different area, you know, so basically I got charged with possession of stolen property and receiving and concealing a motor vehicle. And then I got larcening of a motor vehicle. So basically the county I stole it from charged me with larcening of a motor vehicle, and then the county I got caught with it in charged me with possession of a motor vehicle. So no GTA type stuff or whatever, but yeah, that stuff. And it was 2 years probation. That's what they did, 2 years probation. And yeah, 2 years probation, and the first 4 months I was locked up. So yeah, 4 months locked up, and then when I got out, I had to finish the rest of probation, you know. So yeah, long time. But yeah, I almost got away with it, because the only reason they caught me, which you're probably trying to think, the only reason they caught me was, A, the bike number 2 had a GPS on it. Bike number 2 had a GPS on it, because they came the next day. Bike number 2 had a GPS on it, came the next day. And I thought I heard cops talking about GPS or something. B, which, probably B, I used my phone. My name, my Verizon phone, like my number and everything, to communicate and to use the Uber and to, you know, and talk to the guys and text and call, and it was bad, you know. So I fudged up on the first bike. And the part where I almost got away with it is if I would have used a disposable phone. What if I would have used a phone? They had, how would they have got me? There was no camera evidence. There was no, besides, you know, like, he has my face, but how are the cops gonna be? How is he gonna, you know, he could. There was no way, dude. I was fucking like 3 hours away. They would have never known who I was, and yeah, that was that, dude. It gave him a phony name, so never happened. And yeah, that was it. All right, like, subscribe, give me a comment, let me know how the first video went. I'm gonna work on doing more videos and editing and whatnot, you know, but right now I'm kind of just like straight just spitballing it, just making the videos and just gonna get up there. Yeah, let me know. Peace out.